This is Polka Lainui, and you are listening to Hawaiian Potpourri. We now go into our last half hour of the program, and we had been talking about presidential debates. We had been talking about freedoms and what freedoms are really being protected by the U.S. military. Is it something that we really need to get rid of or put some constraints on? Right now, the U.S. military is able to carry on essentially without review of its budget, it appears. And is it something that we should be paying more attention to? We had a caller earlier, and I put him on hold. I may have lost his call, and now we have 3 calls. So 3 lines are being taken up. Our telephone number here is 524-1080. Let's quickly go through these calls. Let's go to our first caller. Aloha caller, welcome to the program. Hello.
The line I'm on right now is really flimsy. Just hanging by a thread, so I guess we'll know when I'm, stuck, but maybe okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
No, it's no good.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, this one, and then I'll catch me. One of the other callers is me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me get to the other calls.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, bye. And so now I only have one more caller. Telephone number here is 524-1080. Aloha caller. Hello caller. Not there yet. Okay, let's try again. Oh, and I'm still having problem with that line. And okay, here we go. Aloha caller. Welcome to the program. Hello caller. Okay, there's some adjustment going on that side. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, across these people who say these things about, and these guys died for our freedom. Of course, I'm making a presumption and really buying what has been fed to the public for every one of these American military excursions. Of course, it's always the explanation is that this is defensive, this is protective, this is liberating. But when you challenge these people to really look at the documentary record or point out things that they did not know, like you did with that admiral, right? Who did you say one time you had an admiral who boasted, right, about
that the U.S. has never been an aggressive nation, have never invaded another people without just cause, etc., etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But he never explained if how did he reach his conclusion? Did he scour the documentary records? Did he vigorously, zealously pursue truth, no matter where it led? I don't think so.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I can say definitely, at least up to the time that I interviewed him.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the, what is that? The framework that people come from. Or they get stuck in patriotism which blocks their further investigation and a real deep search for knowledge, for truth. And so they defend themselves with these canned phrases. And it doesn't go any place. It doesn't advance the search for truth. I was going to, let me say, you've also talked about the Medal of Honor. And really, is it, how can there be a Medal of Honor if the war itself is not honorable? It can be a Medal of Courage. I can understand that. The ability to overcome one's fear, I can appreciate that. But to call it a Medal of Honor, is there honor in an dishonorable war? I don't think there is such a thing as Medal of Honors.
Yeah, well, that's the point that I thought about every time I heard these fellows referred to. Was that when you are fighting a people who wish to be free and who really don't want you there, then you, no matter how seemingly noble, right, from the perspective of your countrymen or your fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
If you had not been there, you would not have faced their, their wrath. And it was literally uncalled for.
Yeah.
Really uncalled. And the people who should be apologizing are, of course, not around anymore. John Foster Dulles, President Eisenhower, who didn't stop him, and all those who perpetuated the war that was just didn't have to be. Understanding the futility of it and seeing all of the attention and reverence that is given these people, and then they bring it over here too, with that at that place, Arizona. I really wish you could back that thing up and send it to Arizona, and because it's not sacred. There's nothing sacred about that. That somebody said, I think, who was it? Who said that if we really wanted to make a statement and grab America's attention, and he was referring to our resistance, our struggle with the American presence here, and their hegemony, that we should occupy the Arizona. And you can maybe graze an American flag with one of the stars cut out. Maybe hang it upside down. That kind of thing to really
to call attention to.
But then again, it would be like what that American guy did in terms of inflaming Muslim passions, right? You kind of just spitting in their face. So that's probably going too far. But certainly expressing that perspective is fine. Keomiki Akui, I remember he said one time, I was listening to him say that if we really want to grab the attention of the Americans, let's go aboard the Arizona Memorial and go occupy it
and express our freedoms. And see how far you get and how far they will protect those freedoms.
Well, and the thing is, though, the people believe that, right? The American people, that the U.S. Armed Forces protect. And in the meantime, their own, usually executive branch or the Congress, from the executive branch, things like the DEA, for example, right? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. I mean, it's on the record numerous times have just talk about abusing people's rights. And another thing to challenge these people, say that the armed forces protect our freedoms. When they swear in fact, I think you recall this, the oath that you take, you swear not only to defend it against foreign enemies, but also what?
Domestic.
But when do they do that? Do they ever do that? I mean, if it's really true that they are fighting for our freedom, do they stand up to the DEA or alcohol? Do they stand up to the Congress?
Okay, before you continue, I have another caller on the line. Let me take the other caller. Okay, thanks for calling. Aloha. And our telephone number here is 524-1080. Aloha caller, sorry for keeping you on hold for so long. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Polka, how are you this morning?
Fine.
Hey, first of all, congratulations on the Lifetime Award.
It's not over yet, I keep saying, but they keep calling it a Lifetime Achievement Award. But thanks for your congratulations.
Well, you're a cunning man who is cunning like a cat. And you probably have 9 lives, so we're looking for 9 Lifetime Awards.
Okay, thanks. That's more comforting.
Listen, to the last caller, I don't think it's unreasonable to occupy the
Arizona Memorial.
Pearl Harbor thing. I think that's an excellent idea, and if the brother wants someone to join him, I'm right with you.
Okay.
I think I think it's really important as we talk about the presidential candidates to take that needle and thread and draw the connections between national and state and local politics. Because what happens in one segment of society it mirrors what's going on in a more microcosm level. And one of the things I want to say first is to thank the people who came out for the rally, which was entitled From Protest to Aloha and Transformation, down at the legislature with this real problem with the University of Hawaii. I wanted to point out that Dr. King had talked about the 3 points of the triangle of injustice in the United States, and they were increasing militarism, the economic injustice of his time, and the pillar. He called them 3 pillars. The third pillar was various forms of racism, including institutional racism. I wanted to say to the listening audience that right here, locally, we have those 3 pillars in being manifested clearly and in a perpetual way at the university. And it really ties into the pillars of militarism that both Obama and Romney support in different levels. Romney was just across the board, increase in military spending, Barack Obama with actions like increasing drone attacks. The economic injustice is so apparent thanks to the Occupy movement nationally. In terms of the 1% versus the 99% and the gap of income. And then the third area is a pervasive and ongoing problem of racism. Here at the University of Hawaii, we have contracts with the military that are called classified research, which means they cannot be assessed by peers at the university. And they are engaged in providing and testing various forms like optic nerve fibers that contribute to sophisticated sonar tracking of various ships and mines, which ties into and is used by the military both in Iraq, Afghanistan, and in other locations around the world. We see the economic injustice at the university also with the gap between these administrators who the state Senate televised hearing. It was unbelievable to see the degree of corruption and the gap between these administrators, and they just create jobs when people get into trouble. But the point that I am, as a white person who is responsible for what white people do, and work towards creating justice among white people, is the issue of institutionalized racism. As you may know, I have filed 5 formal complaints. I believe I'm the only faculty member at the University of Hawaii who has actually filed formal complaints, and I filed 5 of them. None of them were investigated according to the policies by administrators. And as a result of doing that, I have, and my family has been subjected to legal and professional retaliation at all levels, and which has caused problems. What I'm asking is for some consideration. First, thank you to the man who talked about the rally for the Act 54 that's happening at 2 o'clock. I really appreciate an engaged citizenry, and thanks to brother for doing that. Also on Friday of this week at 1 o'clock at the John Burns Medical Center, the regents will be there talking about Greenwood. We do not want Greenwood fired. We do not want her fired because we'll have the payouts going to her, then we'll have to put another person in as president, and the taxpayers will get a double whammy here. So we want her to stay in, but have a short leash that she is constantly held accountable and monitored by a special committee. We do want the Board of Regents to resign. And if they don't resign, we're asking for the governor to resign, and we're asking for the formation of a new Board of Regents, which gives the university back to the citizens and the people that are most responsible. You have 15 board members right now on the Board of Regents. 11 come from various big business enterprises. We want to change that. we want to have 6 Native Hawaiian members on the Board of Regents, 3 Native Hawaiian students that are voting, and 3 faculty members who are Native Hawaiian. 4 at-large faculty members, 4 other at-large student representatives, 1 representative from big business, 1 representative from the faculty, from the administration at large, and 1 community activist. And I would certainly nominate you, Polka. But I want to say that questions have been raised. Why would you have a majority of Native Hawaiians? Because we're on ceded lands, because the university perpetuates institutional racism, and because from a moral principle, Native Hawaiian faculty members and students have a right and an obligation to work together to advocate for new policies or to block policies that represent forms of oppression and injustice at the university. So I again thank the people that came out on this past Tuesday. We're looking at planning a loud and important rally on Friday, moving to aloha and transformation, asking the regents to step down, or formulating a new one that's grounded in Hawaiian principles of learning and development. So, we thank everyone, and we'll take any comments you have off the air. Again, congratulations, Polka.
Thank you. Before you go, this is October 12th, this Friday. Is that okay? Yep. And what time is that rally?
We're putting together, and this was just announced yesterday.
Okay.
So we're contacting activists and allies. It may be a small get-together, but we're looking at 12 o'clock noon.
Okay.
Coming together and having our presence with posters. That will be 1 o'clock at the John Burns Medical Center on campus now. Now that's on the campus at UH Manoa.
Okay. All right. And,
thank you very much.
Well, before you go, I have one question.
Yep.
The state constitution creates as an autonomous body the University of Hawaii. Does the state constitution already determine how the Board of Regents are to be constituted, or is this set up by some subsequent laws passed?
It is not a law that defines the constitution of the Board of Regents.
Okay.
It is a Board of Regent policy that was formulated in 1972. Therefore, that policy can easily be ameliorated or modified for a new composition of persons. And this is an opportunity for, and again, I am standing strong as a white person who knows of the injustices by white people, and my duty morally is to work with my people to correct these injustices. At the same time, this is an opportunity for Native Hawaiians to seize sovereignty at the university, and I'm hoping that we can generate interest in people joining us.
Okay, thank you for your call, Michael. Take care.
Have a nice day, Paul.
I will. Aloha. And we go to our next caller. Aloha caller, welcome to the program. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Go ahead.
In regards to that last caller,
yes,
setting up an organization based on racial makeup seems to be against the anti-discrimination laws in effect. That's my comment. Maybe he can comment on that. Thank you.
Okay, before you go, let me... hello, are you still there? Okay. I was going to ask this application of discriminatory laws, and to what extent is it sort of affirmative action as opposed to negative discrimination, and to what extent is it permissible? You do have a lot of affirmative action programs. You have the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, which is based on the person's ancestry, and you have many other laws. So in this case, it would be interesting to see how all of that, those issues would apply. Let me go to our next caller. Aloha caller, welcome to the program.
You want to continue discussion?
Yes, yes.
In regards to Office of Hawaiian Affairs, didn't you don't have to be of Hawaiian blood to be voted into the office now.
That's correct. But you do need to be of Hawaiian blood to Oh, I'm sorry, you're correct. But the benefits are to the Hawaiians, the native Hawaiians.
Yes. As a Kekoka, and I have many relatives who are 50%. I think they should maintain this 50% quantum for those to get the benefits.
Yeah.
Now, if you just one drop blood, and that's why they want to eliminate the quantum benefits, so everybody could be eligible for Hawaiian homeland.
Yeah, no.
All my relatives are against that. They want to make
I don't
take care of the 50%.
Yeah, I don't think you're right that anyone could qualify for Hawaiian homelands. And I believe that in the Rice versus Cayetano case, the reason why they included non-native Hawaiians to vote, it was because in that case the Supreme Court elevated the right of voting to be higher than the right for affirmative discrimination. In this particular case, dealing with the University of Hawaii and the Board of Regents, it's not a matter of who votes to put them in, but the selection process appears to be a different process. Even if it was a voting process, then I think you would run into the issue that you have just raised: who votes to elect regents at the Board of Regents.
No, I don't know if you misunderstood me, but I'm saying that the beneficiaries should remain at 50% blood quantum for Hawaiian homelands.
Yes, and
I didn't say that anyone with Hawaiian blood.
Okay.
No, it should remain at 50%.
Okay, yes, I
have
did
family members.
Yes, I did miss.
They gave up their spot in line because they figure they'll never get a Hawaiian homeland.
Yeah, I did misunderstand you on that point. But if we go back to the Board of Regents and your application of discrimination, prohibited discrimination, I don't think that it would fly. Or your objection as a result of discrimination, I don't think it would fly.
What's the reason for that last caller's point to have persons of Hawaiian blood on the Board of Regents?
I believe his reason was that because the land that the university is located upon is ceded lands, and that is a nexus for his view that it should consist of at least 50% of the board members being Native Hawaiians.
I totally disagree.
Okay.
Administration of the Board of Regents, their responsibility has nothing to do with Hawaiian sovereignty. It has to do with education of students, and I would totally be against that.
Okay.
The problem is this move to get Hawaiians to register to vote. That is the most important thing, because
I tell you what,
Hawaiians do not vote, and if they vote, they'll get more Hawaiians in the legislature.
Okay.
How do you think
wait.
Mazie Hirono beat
I don't know. Now that's going to bring about new issues, and I don't want to start on anything new because I have less than 3 minutes on this program. I got to run. Thank you very much for your call, and my apologies to the others who are holding on to the line. I'm not going to be able to take your calls, and I want to thank all of you for allowing me into your private places and listening to this program.
Na pua o Hawaii Kupa ama hope o ka aina Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino Pala pala anunu me ka paka Pane mai Hawaii moku o ke ave Koku ana honoa o Pilani Ka ko'o mai kaua I o mano Pa'aku me ke lava